And yeah, guys, I'll open the chats for maybe a couple of minutes. So, जो भी आपको लिखना है लिख दो. It's not a problem. Okay. Cool, guys. So now once we are clear with the working of the for loop, let us try to come to another kind of a loop. That is the while loop. This is the, again, very, very commonly used loop. And this is much, much more simple to understand than a for loop. Okay. So what is the basic structure of a while loop, guys? Very, very simple. You write while, then within parentheses, you will be writing a condition. Okay. And then within curly braces, you have the body of the while loop. So how does it work, guys? See, first of all, think you have some lines of code before the while loop and some lines of code after the while loop, right? So let's say this is A. Let's say B is my body of the while loop and C is after the while loop. So how does this actually run, guys? First of all, you will execute all the code before the while loop, right? Now, when I come to this while loop, what I will do? First of all, I check the condition. Okay? So first of all, when we come to the while loop, we evaluate the condition. Okay? If the condition is true, we enter inside the while loop. Let's say the condition evaluates to be true. We enter inside the while loop and execute the body of the while loop, that is B. Now, once we are done executing the body of the while loop, where will we go? Again, we go back to the condition check. बस इधर ही आप circle करते रहोगे, okay? So the condition evaluates to be true. You enter, execute the body of the while loop. After executing the body, again you go to the condition check. Condition evaluates to true. Again you enter, execute the body. Again you go to the condition check. So this loop will keep on running, executing till the condition is true. Now let's say after executing the body, I go to the condition check, and the condition check evaluates to be false. Now, once the condition check evaluates to be false, you will come outside the while structure and execute the lines of code that is outside the while block. Okay, so that is the basic idea. Okay, first execute the lines of code before this while loop. That is true, right? Then we check the condition. We come to the while loop, right? We check the condition. If the condition is true, I will enter, execute all the lines of code in the while loop. Okay. Then once the body has been executed, again I go back to the condition check. I check the condition. If the condition is true, again I enter and execute the body. Again go to the condition check. It is true. Again I enter, execute the body, go to the condition check. Now let's say the condition evaluates to be false. The moment you see that the condition evaluates to be false, you will come outside the while structure. Okay. So a while loop basically also runs till the condition evaluates to be a true. The moment you see that the condition evaluates to be false, the while loop will stop. Okay. That's it. That's a very, very basic flow of a while loop, right? Now you will ask me, hey others, for a for loop we had three parts, right? Declaration, initialization of loop counter, we had condition check, we had manipulation. Are all these things not a part of a while loop? I will say those three things, they are fundamental concepts of any loop, right? Explicitly, I won't be telling you where these will be inside the while loop, right? But it all depends on your logic. Let me write a very basic code to print numbers from 1 to 5 using a while loop. So what will I do, guys? First of all, I do int I is equal to 1. मैंने पहले एक variable बना दिया int I is equal to 1. Okay. Then I write while I less than equal to 5. I write the condition. Okay. And then within braces, I will say system.out.println I. Guys, can anybody help me with the output of this particular code? Can anybody help me with the output of this particular code? Wrong. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please listen. Look at the code very carefully. It will print one infinite number of times. It will print one infinite number of times. Why, guys? What happens now? See, guys, you have the same fundamental concepts as a for loop, right? See, this int I equal to 1. Now, this is basically your declaration and initialization of the loop counter. मैं कुछ explicitly नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि this is declaration, but see now, I is used as a looping counter. Okay, it is used as a looping variable. So this is your declaration, initialization of the loop counter. I is declared as 1. Now I come to the while loop. I check the condition. Is 1 less than equal to 5? Yes, this condition is true. So I enter inside and I print the value of I, which is 1. Then once I have done executing the body of the while loop, where will I go? Again, I go to the condition. And again, I will see that 1 is less than equal to 5. Again, I enter and I print the value of I. Now, guys, try to understand. Every time you enter the body of the while loop, you print I and then you go for the condition check. So nobody is changing the value of I. I, the value which was initialized as 1, that is not changing. And because the value of the loop counter is not changing, what has happened, guys? The while condition never becomes false. And if the while condition never becomes false, the loop will keep on running infinitely. And you will see system will crash, right? So ideally, when you are writing code, you don't want to write loops that run for infinite number of times. So guys, what is missing here? A very fundamental part. See, this was declaration, initialization of loop counter, right? This is your condition check. A fundamental part that is missing here is the updation of the loop counter. Now, guys, I won't say it is necessary or it is compulsory, right? But यहाँ पे problem हो रहा है. Here you are facing problems because the value of I is not changing. So ideally, you should be changing the value of I so that in such a way, so that the loop condition becomes false after some point of time. So let's say I do something like this, I plus plus. So now guys, what would happen? See, I का value 1 है, 1 less than equal to 5, I enter and I print the value of I, that is 1. This is printed. Then see, I do a I plus plus in the body of the while loop itself. So see, the updation of the loop counter is done in the body itself. But you will understand that with the introduction of this line, the program now becomes finite. So I plus plus hua, the value of I becomes 2. I check the condition. 2 less than equal to 5. Yes, I will enter, print the value of I, which is 2, and I plus plus, so I becomes 3. Again, I go to check the condition. 3 less than equal to 5. Yes, I enter, I print the value of I, that is 3. And then I plus plus say I becomes 4. Okay. Again, I go to check the condition. 4 less than equal to 5. Yes, I enter, I print the value of I, that is 4. And I do I plus plus here. That means I ka value will become 5. Now I again go back to the condition check. Is 5 less than equal to 5? Yes. So I will enter, print the value of I, 5, and then I plus plus. That means the value of I will become 6. Okay. Now when I go to the condition check, 6 less than equal to 5 is false. So you will just come outside the while structure. Okay. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will get printed. Okay. So this is how a very basic while loop is actually working. Okay. Same concept, same condition, very, very simple. While you just check the condition, if it is true, you enter inside the body, execute the lines of code, again check the condition. It is true, enter inside the body, execute lines of code, again check the condition. When the condition becomes false, you will come outside the while structure. That is the basic working of a while loop. Okay. So guys, it is your job as programmers or developers to ensure that whatever loops you are writing, they are not infinite loops. And at some point of time or the other, the condition becomes false and you are able to come outside the loop. Okay. So see, essentially the 3 parts are here also: declaration, initialization, condition check, updation, or whatever, the changing of the loop counter, right? So these are 3 fundamental parts, not necessarily compulsory to have, but generally you will see all these 3 parts becoming a part of a loop, right? So is the basic working of a while loop making sense to everyone? How is the while loop working? I think the flowchart diagram of a while loop is very simple to follow, right? Yeah, manipulation inside the body. देखो ना, अरे देखो compiler को थोड़ी पता है ये manipulation है या क्या है, right? This is just a simple line which is changing the value of I. You can change it here, you can change it anywhere you want, right? We generally change it inside the body itself. Okay. Yeah. What's the difference between a for and a while? See guys, 99% cases of the time, a for loop and a while loop can be used interchangeably. आप जो कोड for loop से लिखते हो ना, the same code you can write using a while loop also. Okay, but the flow of execution is a little bit different, right? But at the end of the day, both can be used interchangeably. If I ask you to print numbers from 1 to 10, you can use a for loop also, you can use a while loop also. Depends on what level of comfort you have with individual categories of loops, right? But yeah, I will tell you a rule of thumb later when to use a for loop versus when to use a while loop, but that is later, right? But at this point of time, we just flow of working. How is a while loop actually working? Okay. So if I go to online GDB, just to show you the working of a while loop. So let's just write the very simple code of printing numbers from 1 to 5, okay, using a while loop. So guys, what do I do? First of all, I make int I is equal to 1. Then I will say while matlab jab tak I is less than equal to 5, keep on doing something, right? So while this condition is true, what will I do? I will enter inside the loop body. I will print the value of I, and then I will increase. So I'll do I plus something like this, right? So see, first the value of I is 1, 1 less than equal to 5, you enter, you print 1, you increase the value of I becomes 2. Again, you go back to the condition check, 2 less than equal to 5, enter, print the value of I, that is 2, I plus plus, matlab I ka value will become 3. 3 is less than equal to 5, you enter, print the value of I, that is 3, do a I plus plus, right? So I ka value will become 4. Now you go and check the condition, 4 less than equal to 5 is correct, you enter and you print the value of I, which is 4. Then I do I plus plus, I ka value will become 5. Now when I go up, 5 less than equal to 5 is true, you enter inside, print the value of I, which is 5. Then you do I plus plus. Now the value of I becomes 6. Now when you go to check the condition, now you will see 6 less than equal to 5. This condition evaluates to be a false. So I come outside the while loop and the program terminates. So this program is printing out all the numbers from 1 to 5. Okay? Okay guys, 1 to 5. Okay? Cool. So is this making sense, guys? Is this making sense? Let's see. Okay. So guys, now we will be having a break of 1 hour, right? I plus plus below line number 30. You can also write it here. जहाँ पे मनो आप लिख सकते हो, right? But you cannot have it like here itself. इधर भी कर सकते हो, but I won't do it. I won't do it because it will unnecessarily confuse you all. Okay. 1 second. Just difference between for and while is only the syntax. Correct, correct. For loop declares conditions in one line, while loop अलग-अलग जगह पे करता है. हाँ, one way of understanding it can be like this, right? Okay. Now, how to stop an infinite loop? See guys, once you enter into an infinite loop, you can enter Control C to come outside. You to stop the program, right? तो मैं दिखाता हूँ यहाँ पे आगे करके. Let's do. ये इसको skip कर देते हैं, right? So we will see that I is getting printed. And one way to stop is इधर तो stop button ही दिया हुआ है, so you can do. Otherwise, if you hit a Control C ना, generally infinite programs get terminated. देखो print करते जा रहे हैं, ठीक है? Stop करो यहाँ से तब रुकेगा. Okay, but don't necessarily enter into these loops, right? Otherwise, your system crashes, right? It becomes very difficult. Okay, We will learn something about break and continue keywords also tomorrow, which will help us to understand how you can forcefully come outside a loop using break or continue. Okay, we'll see these tomorrow. Okay, what if I write I++ before printing? You can do it, right? You can do it. Not a problem. I don't think there should be any change, right? देखो अब सिर्फ प्रॉब्लम अब ये होगा कि you are printing from C. Now see, just paste this code, guys. What happens, right? The meaning of your code changes. I has been initialized to 1, 1 less than equal to 5. You enter and first you increase the value of I. I becomes 2. You print I, that is 2. So you have started printing from 2 and you will print all the way till 6. कैसे guys देखो, जब I का value 1 था ना NT के समय, then you did a I++ and you printed 2. Okay. ऐसे करते करते when the value of I will be 5, then you will do a I++ and you will print 6, right? So from 2 till 6 you will print. Okay. Let me just quickly try to tell you what is happening here. See guys, initially the value of I is 1. 1 less than equal to 5, that is 2, right? So you enter and you do a I++. So the moment you do I++, the value of I will become 2. And next I print I. So first of all, 2 will be printed. Then I go back to the condition. Is 2 less than equal to 5? Yes. I enter the loop and I do I++. So now the value of I will become 3 and I will print I, which is 3. Then I will go to the condition 3 less than equal to 5. That is correct. I will enter, increase the value of I, it will become 4 and I will print it. So 4. Then I go to check the condition 4 less than equal to 5. That's correct. I enter, I increase the value of I, it becomes 5 and I will print it. So 5 gets printed. Then I will go here to check the condition. Is 5 less than equal to 5? Yes. So I will enter. I do I++, the value of I becomes 6 and I will print I, that is 6 is printed. Okay. And then when I go back, 6 less than equal to 5, this condition evaluates to be false. So if you are writing I++ before println, you are printing from 2 to 6. Okay. Cool guys. So guys, these two problems, right? These are uploaded. Please try to attempt them. We'll meet at 10:30 sharp. And in the next 1 hour, we'll try to discuss some problems on while loop and a do while loop. Okay, guys? So does that sound okay? Yes? Okay, guys. Cool. So I think I'll end the meet here because it's 1 hour. No point of keeping this on. Okay. So do you want me to keep this on and pause the recording, or do you want me to? I can do anyhow, whatever you feel like. No? Okay. Okay, guys. Yeah, you can. I'll just pause the recording. Maybe I'll keep it on only. So if you want, you can leave. Okay, guys. So guys, in the next 1 hour, what we aim to do is we aim to solve some more questions, right? So we'll try to solve some couple of more questions from for loop, while loop, and then we'll try to discuss about do while loop as well, right? So the next 1 hour is purely problem solving and discussion about while loop and do while loop and when do you use what kind of a loop, right? So let's just wait 1 more minute and then I think we can get started because the start time is 10:30. So yeah, let's wait for a minute and then we can get started. Okay, so I think we can start, guys. It's 10:30 on my laptop, so we can start, right? So I think let's start by some problem solving only, right? So hopefully you got some time to actually go through for loop and while loop and how those actually work, right? So now we'll be taking up some more questions, right? And particularly I'll take questions from for loop and while loop so that you understand it better. Okay. And guys, on Friday also we'll do entirely, problem solving using nested loops, pattern printing, and all these things, right? So ideally we'll be solving problems on loops only. And on Saturday also when we revise, we'll try to do a revision using problem solving, right? So that you get some sufficient amount of practice and you get some absorption time as well. Okay. So I think we can get started, right? So this appears like a very basic question to start the problem with, right? So that everybody just gets into that space, and if some people are missing, they might join back, okay? So let's look at this question, even sum, right? You are given a number n. Print the sum of all even numbers from 1 to n. Okay, Satyam, let's see. Okay, we'll do. Okay, odd numbers is in do while loop. Okay, we'll see, right? You can do it in both ways, actually. Okay, anyways. Let's look at this problem, even sum. It's just a warm-up question so that everybody is back on their seats and then we can discuss something interesting, right? So you are given a number n and you want to print the sum of all even numbers from 1 to n. Guys, we already know how to find the sum of all numbers from 1 to n. We saw the sum of the first n natural numbers, right? This time they are telling you that find the sum of all the even numbers from 1 to n. So very, very simple code. Let's quickly do it, guys. First of all, we'll take a scanner. Okay, let's make a scanner which will read inputs from system.in. Now let's read the number n input from the user. Okay, so sc.nextInt. Okay, now once we have the number n, we want to find the sum of all the even numbers from 1 to n, right? So let's make a variable sum equal to 0. Now what do? We will travel from 1 to n. I will move from 1 to n and I will only process the even numbers between 1 to n. So let's get started, guys. My loop I will start from 1 and it will go all the way till n I++, right? So first of all, the value of I will be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, likewise till n. Okay. Now, guys, I don't want to find the sum of all the numbers from 1 to n, right? My I is moving from 1 to n, right? But I don't want to find the sum of all numbers between 1 and n, right? I want to only find the sum of the even number. So what do, guys? I will check that was if I is an even number, that is, if I modulo 2 equal to 0, what does it mean? I is divisible by 2. That means I is an even number. So if I is even, then I will add I to the sum. Okay, that is sum plus equal to I. Okay. And then when we come outside this for loop, that means we have summed up all the even numbers from 1 to n. Okay. So outside this loop, we can just do a system.out.println sum. Okay. That's it. Let's do a quick dry run over this, right? So that we are able to understand it very, very quickly. So let's say n is equal to, n, let's say n is equal to 10. Okay. So what will happen, guys? First of all, I initialize sum equal to 0. Okay. Now I want to find the sum of all the even numbers between, from 1 to 10, right? So essentially what I want is 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10. This is the sum of all the even numbers from 1 to 10, right? So let's get started. So I run the loop from I equal to 1. Okay, so first of all, the value of I is 1. I enter inside. Is I an even number? No. So I don't enter inside the if block. Okay, I directly come after the if structure. There is nothing. So directly I go to I plus plus. Now the value of I will become 2. 2 is less than equal to 10, I will enter inside the for loop. And I see that, yes, this condition becomes true, right? 2 divisible by 2, that is true. So I will enter inside this if block and do sum plus equal to I. That is, I will add the value of I to sum. So sum which was initially 0 will now become 0 plus 2, that is 2. Again, I will do I plus plus, I will become 3. I will enter. Is I an even number? No, I will not do anything. And I will go directly for I plus plus. The value of I becomes 4. I enter and then I see that, yes, 4 is indeed an even number. So I will enter inside this if structure and do a sum plus equal to I. That is, I will add 4 to the sum. So now the value of sum will become 2 plus 4, that is 6. Okay. Next, I go to I plus plus, the value of I will become 5. I will enter inside the loop. Because 5 is not an even number, the condition of the if block becomes false. So I will not enter inside the if block. There is nothing after the if structure. So I directly go to I plus plus. Okay. Now the value of I will become 6. 6 is an even number. So you will add it to the sum. Then the value of I will become 7. 7 is an odd number. So I don't do anything. The value of I becomes 8. I enter inside the loop. 8 is divisible by 2. So I add it to the sum. So I add 8 to the sum. Then the value of I becomes 9. I enter inside the loop. Is 9 an even number? No, it is not. So I don't do anything. I just do a I plus plus. I becomes 10. 10 is less than 10, less than equal to 10, right? This condition is true. So I enter. I see that 10 is indeed divisible by 2. So I add 10 to the sum. Okay. Then the value of I will become 11 and the for loop will terminate. So when I come outside the for loop, you will see that sum is containing the sum of all the even numbers from 2 till 10. So see, basically you start moving I from 1 and go all the way till 10, right? And if I is even, then only you add it to the sum. Otherwise, you don't add it to the sum. As simple as that, right? So when will we add I to the sum? When I is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like this. Okay. So when I come outside the for loop, sum is containing the sum of all the even numbers between 1 and n inclusive. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's it. Let's try to run it up with a couple of examples. Let's give the input 12, right? So I want to find the sum of all the even numbers between 1 and 12, right? So what are the even numbers, guys? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Do the summation. 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 6 is 12, 20, 30, 42. So the output should be 42, which is indeed the output, right? So let us try to run it and see whether it's working fine and we are getting 42 as output or not. Okay, 42 is coming. So let's try to submit it. Okay, so we are seeing that only 4 test cases are passed, right? 6 test cases have failed, right? And it gives me an idea that maybe, the summation needs to be long, right? If I'm adding the sum of the even numbers, maybe if n is very large, the sum of numbers can become very large, right? So let's try to make it as a long. And let's see. Okay, so all the test cases passed, right? So it was similar to the sum of n natural numbers wherein you had to make this. I'll share the codes, don't worry with you all. I want to find the sum of digits of the number, right? So let's try to add the digits and see. 8 plus 0 plus 9 plus 2 plus 3. Can anybody quickly? Given a number, your task is to find the sum of all the digits in the number. That means you have given an integer number and you need to find the sum of all the digits in the number. Now, let's take an example to understand. So the current number of participants in this meet is 219, right? So let's say I get the number 219. So what will be my output, guys? I need to tell you what is the sum of digits of this number. So my output should be 9 plus 1 plus 2. 2, 1 and 9. These are the three digits, right? So I should add these digits, 9 plus 1 plus 2. So my output should be 12. This should be my output, right? So given a number, you want me to print the sum of digits of the number, right? Let's take this input example. 1873. This is the integer number that is given to me. I want to print the sum of digits of the number. That is 1 plus 8 plus 7 plus 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 9 is 19. So the output should be 19. That boss, the sum of digits of the number 1873 is nothing but 19. And look at the output, guys. It is 19. Or take the explanation. 1 plus 8 plus 7 plus 3. That is 19. So you just need to find the sum of digits of a number. Okay. Let's take another example, and I think the question will be clear. So let's take this. 80923. 80,923. This is the number, right? And I want to find the sum of digits of the number, right? So let's try to add the digits and see. 8 plus 0 plus 9 plus 2 plus 8. Can anybody quickly do a sum? 8 plus 9 is 17. 17 plus 2, 19. 19 plus 3, 22. So the output, final output should be 22. This is the output, right? So is the question clear to everyone, guys? You are given an integer and you want to find the sum of digits of the number. Okay. And it's a positive number between 1 and 10 raised to 9. Okay. So let's see. Is the meaning of the question clear? Do you understand what the question is asking you to do? Right? Okay. So guys, here let's go to the PPT, and here we'll try to understand a couple of important things, right? That how do you deal with numbers and all these things? It's very important. So let's go to the PPT and try to analyze a couple of things. All right. So guys, the first thing that I ask you is, let's say I've given you a number, right? 785. This is a number 785. If I want to inspect what is there in the units place, right? I'm just giving you an idea, just giving you a hint, and then we'll try to, go forward. If I ask you, hey, others, can you tell me what is there? See, everybody knows this is units, this is tens, this is hundreds. So sab log kiya match mein. If I ask you what is the digit in the units place, what is the digit in the units place, right? How can you tell me what is the digits in the unit place? If I divide 785 by 10, okay, the quotient is 78 and the remainder will be 5. Okay, see, the quotient will be 78 and the remainder will be 5. See, guys, if I am talking of any number of the format 78x, where x is any digit, right? Let's say I'm talking of the number 78x, where x is any digit from 0 to 9, right? I don't know. Guys, can't I write the number 78x is equal to 78 into 10 plus x? क्या मैं ऐसा नहीं लिख सकता हूँ? Let's say I'm talking of the number 786. Can't I write 786 like this? 78 into 10 plus 6. सोच के बताओ, guys. If I have any number of the form 78x, can't I write it as 78 into 10 plus x? That's the same thing, right? That's the same number. So guys, now help me understand. If I divide the number 786 by 10, the quotient will be 78 and the remainder will be 6. Do you all agree with me or not? Do you all agree with me that if I divide the number 78x by 10, the quotient will be 78 and the remainder will be x. And guys, what is the digit in the units place? X only na. मेरे को find करना है कि what is the digit in the units place of the number, right? So can I say that, boss, if you are looking at a number 78x, right? Just find what is the remainder when you divide this number by 10, and then we will get what is the digit at the units place. सोच के देखो, guys, what I'm trying to say, right? Try to understand. If I have a number like 7854 and I ask you, hey, what is the digit in the units place, right? So try to understand, guys. 7854 can be written as 785 into 10 plus 4. ऐसे लिख सकते हो ना तुम? This 7854 number can be written as 785 into 10 plus 4. Can you use a caret? Good question, Rajat. Caret you can only use if you convert your number into a string, right? But I don't want to do that, right? Why do you want to convert it into a string if it's an integer, right? So guys, 7854 can be written as 785 into 10 plus 4. So what I'm asking you, if you want to get what is the digit in the units place, just divide the number by 10. Divide the number by 10 and observe what are you getting as the remainder. Whatever you get as the remainder now, that is the digit that is present in the units place of the number. Do you agree with me or not? पहले ये सोच के बताओ भाई. If I divide this entire number by 10, the quotient will be 785 and the remainder will be 4. तो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, guys? एक इशू है, when you solve the question तो easy लगता है, but जब हम solve हमारे mind में logic नहीं आता है. Yes, Vinay, correct. It will take some time. This takes time, right? You need to practice and solve more. आप लोग जब खुद से करोगे, definitely you will take some more amount of time. You might not get the logic so easily, right? But it's all about practice, right? The more you practice, the more you spend time, little bit, improvement will be coming in, right? It's a long journey, man. It's not that easy, right? But yeah, it will be coming in with time. Okay. Yes, we are on that, right? We are on that, and we are making a list of gym questions that you can do in a good order, right? So that you don't try to do questions which are beyond your scope currently. So that is WIP, work in progress, and we should be able to share a good list with you all in few time, right? So that is there. Don't worry. Okay. So guys, what I'm trying to say is, if the number is 786, I tell you modulo it with 10. Okay? I ask you, bhai, batao mere ko that when you divide this number by 10, what is the remainder? And whatever you get as the remainder, that will be the digit in the units place, which is 6, right? So मैं क्या बोलता हूँ, guys, now try to understand. Let's try to understand. Let's say I have the number 786 and I want to find the sum of digits of the number. Okay. So this is n, which is 786, right? Now, what do I see, guys? The number that I am dealing with, try to understand it and try to follow it very closely. The number that I am dealing with, that is greater than 0 now. That means there are some digits in the number to be processed. So, पहले मैं क्या बोलता हूँ? First, I ask you, what is the digit in the units place? So, what you will do? N modulo 10. When you do an n modulo 10 now, you will get what is the digit in the units place. See, guys, the number is still 786, right? So, let's say I do some operation like this. Was int digit is equal to n modulo 10. Then what will digits contain? Digit will just contain 6. It will tell me what is the digit in the units place, right? But n doesn't change, right? N is still 786 and digit will be 6. Now, once I know that what is the digit in the units place, मेरे को पता चल गया, boss, 6 is the digit in the units place. Then I will just add it to a variable sum. I will add this digit to a variable sum. So now what will happen, guys? Sum becomes 0 plus 6. That is 6. Okay? Now guys, try to understand. I have processed this digit 6. मैंने ना digit 6 को already processed कर लिया. I have added it into my sum. Now guys, what is the next digit that you want to pick? The next digit that you want to select is 8. See guys, try to understand. If you have a number 786, what are we trying to do? First of all, we get this digit 6, add it to the sum. Okay. Then we will get this digit 8, add it to the sum. Then we will get this digit 7, add it to the sum. And this is how we will get the sum of digits of the number. Okay. So first of all, guys, the number is 786. So first of all, I do a n modulo 10. And my digit will now contain 6. Because 6 is the digit in the units place. So I will add 6 to the sum. Okay, guys? Okay. Now I have already processed the digit 6, right? So I don't want to consider 6 in my number. अब मेरे को ना 6 को हटा देना number से. So guys, if I somehow remove this 6 from the number, what does the number become? Just 78. Think of it like, just forget that your 6 existed. हटा दो इसको. What is the number, guys? The number is 78. So how do we get to this number? See, guys. First of all, we had 786, right? I understood that yes, 6 is the digit in the units place and I added 6 to the sum. Okay. Now what I will do, I want to remove the number 6. I want to remove the number 6 from the number, right? मेरे को अब 78 चाहिए बस. Okay, because I've already added 6 to the summation. So guys, can you tell me what operation should I perform? If you look at this expression, you will understand that if you take the quotient, you are chipping off or you are removing the units digit. देख लो guys. The number was 7854, right? And you could represent it as 785 into 10 plus 4. So when we took the remainder, we got the units digit. And when I take the quotient, I will get the number which has chopped off this 4. 4 हट गया इस number से, देखो guys. So I tell you, now let us try to remove 6 from the number. तो मैं बोलूंगा, let us divide the number by 10. So initially, what is the number? 786. So now I will tell, let us do something like n is equals to n by 10. Okay, so when we divide n by 10, what will be the quotient, guys? 78. And 78 will be the new value that is stored in n. So now n will get modified to be 78. Is this making sense? देखो guys, समझने का try करो. When you divide 786 by 10, the quotient will be 78. I am picking this quotient and assigning it back to n. So now guys, the number n is nothing but only 78. And there are two digits to process, that is 7 and 8. अब देखो 6 हट गया इस number से. That means I have already processed the digit 6. Now the number is 78. I again see that boss, the number is still not 0, right? There are digits in this number to be processed. So again, what I will do, I will again repeat the same plan of action. Again, I will find what is the digit at the units place. So I will do n modulo 10. And when I do n modulo 10, see, n is 78, right? When I do a modulo 10, I will get 8 as the remainder. So 8 is the digit in the units place. So I will add 8 to my sum. Okay? And once I have processed 8, I will again divide this number by 10. Okay. So when I do 78 by 10 and I take the quotient, the number will change from 78 to 7. Okay. Now guys, now again I see that the number is 7. It's not 0, right? It's greater than 0. That means there are digits to be processed, right? So what do I do? The number is just 7, right? So I ask you, what is the digit in the units place? So what you will do? N modulo 10 will give me the units place. Okay. So 7 modulo 10. Okay. 7 modulo 10. Okay. So you will see that the remainder comes out to be 7. That means the digit in the units place is 7 only. So I will add 7 to the sum. And once I have processed the digit 7, I will again divide n by 10. So when I divide 7 by 10, the quotient is 0. That means once the digit 7 is removed from the number n goes to 0. Okay. Now guys, when the number goes to 0, I know that I have processed all the digits and I have added the digits to my sum. So I can stop the operation and I can say, boss, whatever is stored in the sum, that is the sum of digits of the number. Okay. So guys, try to understand what we have done. I'll write the lines of code and we'll try to do a dry run, right? So let's assume that n is the number that we have as input and we want to find the sum of digits of the number. And let's say the number is nothing but 2578. Okay. Now what do I do? Guys, till when do I do my logic of getting the units digit, adding the digit to my sum and then dividing the number by 10? I will perform my logic till n is greater than 0. See, abhi n ka value hai 2578. I am telling you till the number n is greater than 0, it means we have a number to process. Okay. जब तक n की value greater than 0 है, that means we have a number that we want to process. Okay. And outside this loop only we have a sum initially equal to 0. Now when I come inside the loop, I know that the number n is greater than 0. That means there are digits in the number to be processed. So first of all, what will I do? First of all, we will check out that what is the digit in the units place. How do we check out, guys? Let's make a variable int digit. This will tell me what is the digit in the units place is equal to n modulo 10. Now guys, try to understand. N is currently storing 2578. You do a 2578 modulo 10. So you will see that digit after this line stores this 8, right? Abhi dekho guys, n mein koi bhi change nahi hua hai, right? We are just inspecting what is the digit in the units place of the number n, which is 8, right? So we get the digit in the units place. Now once we have the digit, what should we do? We should add this digit to the sum. So I will say sum is equal to sum plus digit. So I will add this digit to the sum. Now guys, try to understand. Once you have added the digit 8 to the sum, I no longer bought 8 in my number. 8 का काम हो गया. मैंने इस digit 8 को already add कर दिया है sum में. So what do I do, guys? I do n is equals to n by 10. So when I do this, what is the value of n? 2578, right? So when I divide 2578 by 10, the quotient will be 257. Look at the quotient, guys. It is like the number 8 has been removed from the number, right? So n is 2578. 2578 by 10 will be 257. This new value 257 will be taken and it will be assigned to n. So now the value of n will become 257. See, it is just as good as you have removed or chopped off 8 from the number. N becomes 257. Now you again go back to the while loop condition. Is n greater than 0? Yes, guys, I see that n is greater than 0. See, 257 is greater than 0. So I enter. Again, I will first of all check what is the digit at the units place. So I do n modulo 10 and that is the value of digit. So what will be the value of digit, guys? The value of digit will be 257 modulo 10. What is 257 modulo 10? 7. So digit has a value of 7. That is, boss, 7 is the digit in the units place of 257. Okay. So I add this digit 7 to the sum. Okay. So let's assume that first of all, we had added 8 to the sum. Now we have added 7 to the sum. Okay. And then I divide the number by 10. So when I divide 257 by 10, what will be the quotient? 25. So the new value of n will become 25. Think of it like you have chopped the digit 7 also from the number. Okay. Now again, I go back and check. Is 25 greater than 0? Definitely, guys, 25 is greater than 0. So I will enter and first of all, I check what is the digit at the units place. So when I do n modulo 10, 25 modulo 10 will be 5. So I will get the digit as 5. And I will add 5 to the sum. Okay. And then I divide the number by 10. So when I divide 25 by 10, the quotient is 2. So the new value of n will get updated to 2. So देखो guys, क्या हो रहा है? पहले n का value 2578 था. I added 8, then the value of n became 257. Then I added 7, then the value of n became 25. I added 5, the value of n becomes 2. Okay. Now guys, I see what is the digit in the units place. 2 modulo 10 will again give you 2, right? So I will add 2 to my sum. Add 2 to my sum. Now what I will do, I will divide n by 10. So when I divide 2 by 10, what is the quotient? 0. So when I do this, n will reduce to 0. Now when n has gone to 0, that means I have processed all the digits. So when I go to check the condition, 0 greater than 0 will be false. I will come outside the while loop and I know that sum has the digit of all the numbers. Okay. So sum will now contain the sum of digits of the number. Okay. Is this idea making sense, guys? What we are trying to do? N modulo 10 tells me what is the digits at the unit place. Get that digit, add it to the sum. Now you have done processing that digit. So just divide the number by 10 so that that digit is chopped off from the number. Okay. That is what we are actually doing. Okay. Okay. See, this will be a little bit tricky to write using for loops. Like not exactly tricky. Your just condition will change, right? So अगर आप for loops लिखना चाहोगे आप क्या लिखोगे? For int whatever, right? Say let's say your variable is n only, right? So here you will have to skip that thing. The declaration initialization part will be skipped in the for loop, right? No, Aman, 257 by 10 25.7 mathematics में होता है. In computer 257 by 10 is 25. not 25.7, right? It's a floor division. Told this concept in the first or the second lecture itself, right? So let's try to understand, guys. We'll write this code first, and then we'll try to understand when do you generally use a for loop versus when do you generally use a while loop, right? And then we'll try to talk about the do while loop as well. Okay. So let us go and try to code this question now. This is a little bit tricky. You might need to do some dry run on your own as well for more clarity. But yeah, let's try to solve this, right? So first of all, I make a scanner, guys. Scanner SC is equal to new scanner system.in. All right. Now let's take the number and input from the user, sc.nextInt. I've read the number and input from the user. Now, first of all, I will make a sum variable and initialize it to 0. Now what I'm telling guys, while jab tak the number n is greater than 0, see what I'm telling guys, while the number n is greater than 0, first of all, let us see what is the digit at the units place, right? So int digit is equal to n modulo 10. When you do n modulo 10, the remainder basically tells you what is the digit at the units place. So I will store the digit in this variable digit, right? Now, once I've got what is the digit at the units place, let us add it to the sum, right? So I will say sum is equal to sum plus digit. So I've added that digit to the sum. Now, once I've added the digit to the sum, I can chop off that digit from the number n. So what I will say, n is equal to n by 10. Or you might see written like this also, n by equal to 10. Same thing, right? Short form. So I am just doing n is equal to n by 10. So that the digit will get chopped off from the number. So this entire process will keep on continuing, and we will come outside the while loop when n becomes 0. So the moment n becomes 0, I know that I have processed all the digits of the number. So I come outside the while loop and I do a system.out.println sum. Okay. That is what we are doing. So let us try to run it with an input-output example. I'll again do a dry run. Don't worry for people who are not clear. We'll again do a dry run once again on an example. But yeah, let's try to run it for 1873 and see if the output comes out as 19 or not. Yes, it's coming fine. Let's try to submit it and then we'll do a dry run as well. Okay, so all the test cases passed, right? And this code is working fine. So let's do a quick dry run, guys, and then we'll move on, right? Then we'll try to move on. So let us try to do a dry run for this example only. 1873. Okay. Please follow along very carefully, guys. I'm doing a dry run. So, guys, n value is initially, what is the value of n? The value of n is 1873. Okay, and my sum has been initialized to 0. Okay. Now I come to this while part, while n greater than 0. Is 1873 greater than 0? Yes, it is. So I will enter inside the while loop. And what I will say? Int digit. So what is the value of digit, guys? N modulo 10. Now, if you look at n modulo 10, if I divide n by 10, what is the remainder, guys? The remainder will be just 3, right? Because, guys, the number can be written as 187 into 10 plus 3. So whatever, when you see the rule that you need to understand, it's logical, right? But you need to understand that if you check what is n modulo 10, you will get the digit which is at the units place. Okay. So what will be the value of digit, guys? The value of digit will be 3. So I understand that yes, in the number n, which is 1873, the digit at the units place is 3. Okay. So let us add 3 to the sum, right? So I do a sum is equal to sum plus digit. So now the value of sum will be 0 plus 3, which is 3. Okay. अब मैंने 3 digit को तो add कर दिया. I have already taken the digit 3 and added it to sum, right? So now I want to chop off. ऐसा समझो कि अब मेरे को इसको उड़ा देना है n से. Now think that n doesn't have the digit 3. So what do I do? N by is equal to 10. So what is the current value of n, guys? The current value of n is 1873. When I divide 1873 by 10, what is the quotient that I get? 187. So this number 187 I will take and I will assign it to n. So now the value of n will get updated to just 187. Just 187, right? Now from here I again go back to check the condition. Is 187 greater than 0? Indeed it is. So what I will do, guys? I enter. Again I will find what is the digit at the units place. Okay? So what do I do, guys? What is digit n modulo 10? So if you do a 187 modulo 10, you will see that the remainder comes out to be 7. Okay. So this time the value of digit will be 7. Okay. And I add digit to the sum. So now sum becomes, I add 7 to the sum, right? So now sum will become 3 plus 7, that is 10. Okay. Now once I've added the digit 7 to the sum, I am done with this digit. So I say do n is equal to n by 10. So what is n? 187. When you divide 187 by 10, the quotient you will get as 18. And that quotient you are assigning back to n. So the value of n will get updated and it will become only 18. Okay. Again, you go back to the condition check. Is 18 greater than 0? Definitely, guys, 18 is greater than 0. So I'll enter inside, extract the digit or see what is the digit at the unit space, right? So when you do an 18 modulo 10, the remainder will come out to be 8. And that is the digit at the unit place of 18. Okay. I'll add this digit to the sum. Sum is equal to sum plus digit. So I'll add 8 to the sum. And then I will say divide n. I will say n is equals to n by 10. So what is happening, guys? What is the value of n? 18. So when you do 18 by 10, what is the quotient? Only 1. Okay. So this right hand side evaluates to be 1 and 1 will be stored in n. So now the value of n gets updated to 1. Okay. I again come back to the condition. Is 1 greater than 0? Yes, guys, 1 is greater than 0. So I will enter inside this while loop. I will enter inside the while loop. What is the digit at the units position? N modulo 10. So if I divide 1 by 10, what is the remainder? The remainder is 1. Okay. So digit ka value will be 1. That is the digit at the units place of this number, 1. Right. I will add 1 to the sum. So now my sum becomes add 1 to it. So 3 plus 7 plus 8 plus 1. This is my cumulative sum, right? Now I will again divide n by 10. So when you divide 1 by 10, what is the quotient? 0. So the value of n will get updated to 0. Okay. That means you have processed all the digits. Now when you come back to the condition, you see 0 greater than 0 is false. So you come outside and what is the value of sum? 3 plus 7 plus 8 plus 1. That is nothing but the sum of digits of the original number. Okay. This is nothing but 19. Okay. That is what we are doing. So one thing that you need to understand is if you do n modulo 10, you can find what is the digit in the units location. And if you want to chop off the digit from the units location, I'll just do n by 10. You will chop off that digit, right? These are the two important concepts that you have to learn from this particular question. Okay.